Well, Jim, pre-season preparation's complete now, and it was a pretty terrific way to end it with a comprehensive win at Oldham.
I wouldn't say they're complete, because I think this week's a big week. Obviously today, Tuesday and Thursday, we're preparing specifically for Maidenhead. But yeah, we've been in training now 6 weeks, and we've sort of shown our footballing qualities against the North West County sides, and then we've shown our sort of resilience and solidity and organisation against the Conference North side. And I think it was nice to finish with the Oldham game. It gives you a taste of places that we're going to go, like Notts County and Yeovil, 2 away games, league grounds, league teams, perhaps teams that would be similarly just putting a team together. So it was a good workout for us and a nice way to finish the pre-season.
You've spoken before about the benefits of keeping a settled squad, the majority of last season's squad together, and you could really see the benefits of that in the difference between the two teams on Saturday. How much of an advantage do you think that will have in the opening weeks of the season?
I think it's going to be really important. Last year we had a bit of a transition with several players, and I think that was sort of notable, perhaps in the fatigue that Jordan Keane was feeling, the little injuries that Ash Palmer. We did have a couple of injuries at that time, Scott Duxbury and Paul Turnbull, which people didn't really take a lot of stock of, but I think there were important changes within that first month. It took us a couple of loans before we settled down into a team that I felt could function and win games regularly. But yeah, having the team together, you can see the unity, you can see the structure, you can see even the players that are coming in know what's required and what the jobs are. It means that the likes of Alex and Ben are the only players we need to concentrate on and get them connected with the script and the way that we play and the different types of phases. But the players also, not just in terms of organisation and structure, they've also got a very good level of fitness from the structure we put in place last year. The strength and conditioning is excellent. The speed repeatability, the durability, the injury prevention all looks really strong at the moment. So that'll be very important because the physical demands of the next level are certainly higher. Very intense opening programme. I think we could be playing 1/3 of the season within the first couple of months, so it's going to be very, very tough on our lads. But if we're in a good position at the end of that, I'm sure that when things settle down, we'll just keep improving as the season goes on, add a couple of players and add a little bit of value to the players we've got, and hopefully we're in for a good season.
Just a quick word on Dan Cohen as well. Throughout pre-season he's played left back, right back and centre back and barely put a foot wrong. How important is it to have a player like that in your squad that can step in?
Yeah, we had players, obviously Dan was an important, versatile player last year for us, and the same with people like Elliot and Adam Thomas, players that can step up a position, step back a position, change shape without much fuss, and Dan does give you that option. I ain't going to use the word cover because the way he's playing at the moment, he deserves to be in that back four, whether that be at left back or part of a 3 or a 4. Remains to be seen, but I'm sure he'll be used a lot because physically he's in great shape, and people forget that at a very young age he had good experience at Macclesfield. I think he had 20 plus games at the national level, so that's I think he's looking forward to the challenge next year, and he's done really well. We obviously have Adam Thomas, who a couple of games we've had to flip from right to left, drop back to wing back. We may need to use him occasionally as a second striker, and Jake Kirby's got the same sort of fluidity off the left, but really pleased with the squad at the moment. The 11's looking really good. There's 3 or 4 players who could easily be in the team. We just need to make sure now that we've got 5, 6, 7 players that could be in the team, and knowing that we can cover for injuries or we can cover for fatigue, because the games are going to come thick and fast, and any kind of knock could keep you out for 2 or 3 games. So we need to be in good physical shape and well organised, and have a tight, solid group going into the first game of the season. If we do that, then we'll give ourselves a very good chance of having a good start.
One player that has come in, Ben Jackson, he started the last 2 games. How's he been settling in, and what do you think he can add to the team going forward?
Well, he's a natural left-sided defender. I think Dan's been very, very good defensively. Obviously he looks a little bit more awkward as he goes up the pitch in terms of getting across, and the same with Sam Minahan when he's been flipped over to that side. What Ben will give you is that little bit more confident penetration down the left and a little bit more quality on the run. And Ben also, with his natural attacking background, I think he was previously a winger, his link play up the flank is really good as well. So I think it definitely gives us something down the left, because last year when we used to roll the left winger off the line, Scott Duxbury used to get up the pitch and give us good width, so we're hoping that Ben will do the same for us.
The news came through from the club yesterday that unfortunately Darren Stevenson has got a double fracture on his fibula and it looks like he'll be out for several months. How big of a blow is that just before the start of the season?
It's a massive blow for Darren. I mean, he's obviously he was working his way back into the team. He gives us a great option off the bench. Big blow for himself, because he would have enjoyed getting a run out the last couple of games, and fortunately the fracture, if I can use the word fortunately, the fracture is not a complicated one, so it's just a question of the bones just healing, and I don't envisage any long-term complications. It's a non-weight bearing bone, so he should be fairly physically active within a couple of months, back on his feet, walking and jogging and doing weight bearing exercises. But obviously we've got to let the bone consolidate. But yeah, it's a blow. But from our perspective, it's it's one player out of 17 that we just have to do without for a while. What we need to do now is just see whether the group can cope without that extra body, or whether we need to bring somebody in. And so we're looking at a couple of options to strengthen. Most likely scenario will be some sort of loan or a short-term contract for 6 months, and then we see where we stand at Christmas in terms of Daz's fitness.
And just finally, 5 days to go now until the start of the season. What's the mood around the camp about stepping out at Edgeley Park in front of the TV cameras and opening the day?
I don't think they're actually thinking that far ahead at the moment. I think they've come in today. They've had a busy weekend with the Oldham game. They had a photo shoot yesterday. Quite a few of them looked a little bit tired from Saturday's game, naturally. And even if it's just not tired from Saturday, it's the 3 full games some of them have had within this week. And that's the way we plan it, in terms of a really hard week, physical exertion, and then kind of a week where we dip the work rate down but build up the organisation and the intensity just for Maidenhead, whilst keeping one eye on what Notts County might be like on a Tuesday. But fortunately, with us training Mondays, we have a training session before every game. But yeah, they've not really, I'm sure as the week goes on and the BT Sports cameras turn up at the training ground, and the feel of Saturday comes around, I'm sure the excitement will build. And it's always a great occasion, first game of the season, but to be in a national, to be live on BT Sport and at home adds an extra dimension to all. So hopefully we get as good a performance and result as we did at the first game of last year.
Jim, thanks for your time. Best of luck on Saturday.
You're welcome.